Welcome to the 21st Annual Sackets Harbor Quilt Show. And the Hay Memorial Library will be hosting the feature artist for the quilt show.
Hi, welcome to Caught in a Rainbow. My first quilt is Flights of Fancy, and I will admit I give each quilt my own name for it, but attributes are available. Flights of Fancy is a foundation paper piecing project, and it was the first modern quilt I ever tried doing, and I find I like it a lot. It was the third place viewer's choice, winning in the 2016 Sackets Harbor Quilt Show. Okay. The second quilt is Dancing Dots. This is the quilt that started it all. I was in Joann Fabrics and saw it on the cover of a magazine and knew I had A, to buy the magazine, and B, make the quilt, which I had absolutely no idea how to do, but I guessed I could figure it out. It's a combination of machine piecing and hand applique of the circles and the arcs. Okay. The next quilt is Dancing in the Firelight. I saw Donna Peck's version of this quilt by an Australian designer at the last North Country Guild Quilt Show in Clayton just before the pandemic shut everything down. Her colors were white and black with a few colors. Mine absolutely very different. And a lot of people think it's very difficult to put together. It's not. It's done in rectangular sections that are then joined together the way a jigsaw puzzle is. Grandmother's Wildflower Garden is an English paper piecing quilt. It's all done by hand with hexagons. I love asymmetry, so rather I took the traditional block and loosened it up a bit based on the Millefiori quilt designs. If you look closely at it, you may find one storytelling flower. He loves me not. Scraptacular is a quilt by my favorite quilt designer, Edita Sitar. She's now based in California. It is entirely a scrap bag project. The little squares are finish out at about an inch square. The original was done in Civil War traditional calicos. I obviously modernized it a little bit in my version. And I did finally get up the courage to send Ms. Sitar a photo of what I had done, and she actually replied herself. And it was a very simple reply, but it said, wow. Okay. The Land Down Under is made of Aboriginal prints from Australia. I find these in a shop called Tumbleweed on Cape Cod. They're not available locally. My cousin makes sure that we visit that shop each time I visit her. Finding coordinating fabrics for the Australian fabrics is a bit difficult compared to walking into any quilt store and finding something, but I've discovered that they work very well together regardless of color or the year they were produced. Sunset on the Lake is my latest modern piece. Again, a scrap project that was done during the pandemic when fabric stores were closed. And the blue-gray fabric is actually the reverse side of a Ginny Byers fabric. I find I like the back sides of her fabric almost as much as the prints. And I chose this pattern because it reminds me of looking at the lake at sunset and seeing the flashes of light on the water.
Next door at the Pickering Beach Museum, they'll also be displaying vintage quilts.